Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a hair tutorial. So today I'm going to show you guys how I curl my hair, how I tease my hair, the products I use. I am a hairdresser now. I'm officially licensed. I have a job and everything, so that's pretty cool. But I'm finally really happy with my hair and happy with how I do it. And I've just gotten so much better over the years. I would consider this to be not necessarily beachy waves, but not formal. This is just like a good everyday how to curl your hair tutorial. And I'm also going to show you guys how to preserve the integrity of your hair. So before I get started, I do want to say that if you guys want to see an actual hair routine, like the products I use, how I train my hair to not be so oily and all that stuff, then let me know. But just keep in mind, I do this every single day. So this is the exact same routine I have, even if my hair is like on second day or third day or fourth day. So this is the morning after I took a shower. I did take a shower last night. But what I'm gonna do is start off with some Batise Dry Shampoo. You guys have seen this. So I start off by spraying it on the root and then I kind of lift it up here and there. I go around my face, just kind of like around the perimeter. And even though my hair is clean, what this is gonna do is prevent any oil from coming through. So I also wanna get back here in the crown. Now usually as soon as I wake up, I spray that in so it's actually sitting on my hair as I'm getting ready, like putting my makeup on and stuff. So I'm just gonna go through and massage it into my hair. Basically just until I don't see white powder. And the reason I like Batiste is because you can see where it's going. I don't like just a translucent dry shampoo because you can't really see where it's going and if you need more in certain areas. That's the first thing I do, and then I like to go through and brush it out. And I do want to give you guys just a little rundown of what I used last night because it is important. So I usually like to use some kind of root lifter. Now I just kind of bounce back and forth. I really like the Garnier Root Amp root lifting spray, but right now I'm using the Rusk Blofoam texturizer and root lifter, and I find that every time I use this, my hair holds my tease so much better. Like, my hair is fine. I do have a lot. It is pretty dense, but my hair is very flat and limp, and I have a hard time holding volume and body. I have to use something like this, like some kind of root lifter, to zhuzh it up and to keep it up all day long. So I'm gonna start off by sectioning my hair into two. Now, depending on the density and the thickness of your hair, you may have to do more. So yeah, sectioning will just give you more control. So the curling iron that I'm using right now is the BaByliss Pro 1-inch. It's like $49.95 on the Ulta website. So that's awesome. I just find that my hair just glides through it so fast. I do not have to leave this on my hair for a very long time. So the first thing you want to do, and this is so important, you need a good heat protectant. I just kind of go back and forth, but right now I'm using the Paul Mitchell hot off the press. I like this because it gives your hair more texture and grip, especially when your hair is clean. But I will say this isn't the type of product that will give your hair shine. So I always part my hair in the middle and then pull it to the sides, and then I spray this on each side, and then I'm gonna brush it through to evenly distribute it. And it's so important to work in sections when you're spraying your heat protectant, because if you spray it all over your hair when your hair is not sectioned, like if I took my clip down and just sprayed it all over, it's just hitting that top layer. So your underneath hair isn't really gonna get that heat protectant, like it's not gonna get evenly dispersed. So always work in sections with heat protectant. And then also you wanna make sure that you brush it through so that it's evenly distributed. And I always start in the back of my head, like at the back of the section. So I'll start back here. When I get done with it, I'll push it back, move forward, get done with it, push it back. Because I find that if you're starting at the front, then when you get done with it, it just lays there and it just kind of gets in your way. But obviously there are multiple ways to curl your hair to get different results. I curl my hair away from my face. If you want more of a beachy look, people say you can alternate the curl, like alternate the directions. I may be the only person in the world who thinks this way, but I don't really see that being the beachy look. To me, the beachy look is more of like straight ends. I just find that on my hair, curling away from my face just looks, I don't know, it just looks more flattering. And one thing that I see a lot of people doing, even like hairdressers and stuff, is that they will put their curling iron at the ends of their hair or the client's hair and then roll it all the way up. That is such an outdated way of curling your hair, and it's just so damaging. When your ends are in the barrel the entire time you're curling that strand, you're exposing the most porous, fragile, prone to damage area of your hair to heat the entire time. So what I do is start at the mid strand and work my way downward. So you want to start with a section that's about the size and diameter of your curling iron. If you have a 1-inch curling iron like I have, and you pick up a section that's about 2 inches, you're not going to thoroughly heat that entire strand, and you're probably going to have to leave it in way longer than what you should, and you're going to have to go over it several times. So definitely start off with smaller sections. What I do is put it close to the root and start twirling it down. And where this is so easy to slide, I find that I don't really have to even open the clamp, but you can open the clamp just a little bit and just move all the way down the hair until you have the amount of ends that you want left out. And then I just kind of roll it up, leave it there just for a few seconds. You really don't have to leave your hair in that long. And then just kind of open it, like open the clamp a little bit and let it out. I'm just gonna push this to the back. I'm not gonna brush it out, I'm not gonna do anything with it. So moving on to the next section, again, about 1 inch. Kind of smooth out the root a little bit. And I'm just opening the clamp a little bit and also twirling the curling iron as I go down. And then once I get the amount of ends that I want out, which is about 1.5 to 2 inches, I roll it back up, kind of touch it a little bit to, you know, where I can feel that it's actually heated all the way through, and then just kind of let it loose like that. And when I'm letting it loose, I don't know if you guys can see this either, but I'm kind of like opening the clamp a little bit and moving it down. And if you really want to form a really good curl, you can actually kind of spiral it down like this and then let it go. So as you can see, that looks a little bit more curly than the pieces that we just did. If I don't twirl it all the way down like a spiral, like a staircase in a way, and I just let it loose like that, it's not as curly. So if I'm in a hurry, I'll just move it all the way down to where I want it, like where I want the ends left out, and then I'll just roll it up. You know, sometimes I don't have time to, you know, move it down a little bit of time, like an inchworm it down a little bit and then release it. So I'm gonna take down the top section and split it in half. And if you have a hard time holding a curl, you can actually spray each section as you go, like with a light hold hairspray. And I'm gonna spray my heat protectant by the sections. First I'm gonna brush it out though. So again, starting in the back. You guys are probably gonna get tired of hearing me say this, but I just feel like I'm not explaining it the best way. I don't know if you guys can see all the angles of how I'm doing it. So I'm just gonna put it in there and kind of smooth it out and just start twirling it down, wrap it up. And I probably let it sit for like 5 seconds if that, and then I wanna curl it down like that. Push it back, get it out of my way, move on. So sometimes I will just section this off with my fingers, just push that over, because I don't want to leave the curling iron in too long, and I find that if I do a bigger section I have to, where I usually have to go back in and, you know, recurl. So I'm just gonna split it off with my finger. Here's a fast way of doing it. Smoothing it down all the way to the ends, leaving out what you want, curling it back up. And by leaving out the amount of ends that we're leaving out, that's also gonna preserve the integrity of our hair. We're not gonna be damaging the ends as much, and you're also gonna get more of that beachy wave. I just kind of release it in different ways. Like sometimes I'll do the spiraling staircase kind of thing. Sometimes I'll just open it up and let it out. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side and we will get to teasing. Again, if you want to, you can spray your hair with a light hold hairspray. I always recommend a light hold hairspray and also more of a firm hold hairspray, because when you're styling your hair, you're messing with it a lot. Like even after you curl it, like when you're teasing it, you're brushing it out and stuff. And if you don't spray a light hold hairspray, sometimes you'll lose your curl. The first thing that I recommend is a good teasing brush. And this is the one I use. This is from Sally's. I've talked about this numerous times on my channel. This is only like $3. This is from a brand called Tool Structure. It has a rat tail on it, which I think is perfect for sectioning. And not only does it tease it really well and really fast, but I just find that it's really good to actually smooth it out with. Again, the first thing I do is section. So I section above the ear. So I go from the top of my head down behind my ear, pull that forward. You definitely want to make sure you section it, especially if you're not very good at teasing, because it will give you so much more control. And I work on these separately and do the crown like its own section. So I start with the crown of my head. So I start off by kind of brushing it backwards. I'm gonna take this very top section, and with teasing, you wanna keep in mind you don't wanna do too thick of a section, because if you do, it's not going to tease all the way through and your tease isn't gonna hold very well. So this is the thickness of the section that I'm doing. And if you have hair that's more prone to like frizziness and like not looking very smooth, a lot of people like to leave out a very little fine, let's see if I can do it real quick, just a very fine little layer like this, and they pull it forward, and then when you tease your hair, you can pull this over it, and just like where it's not been teased, it makes it look more smooth. It just kind of like camouflages the frizziness and stuff of teasing. But when I do that, for some reason I find that my hair doesn't hold tease as well, and it falls flat a lot faster. So I always have to do the very top section as well. So here's the section I have. So one thing you want to remember is that when you're teasing, you don't want to stick it in and just zigzag it back and forth, because all that's going to do is give you a rat's nest, and it's also a lot more damaging on your hair. So you really want to pick it up and kind of go like a circle. So you also want to over direct if you want the most volume. When you're pulling it away from where the hair lives like this, that's called over directing. If you just hold it out like this, where you're not really giving it a lot of like direction, then you're not gonna be able to really get in there and give yourself a good tease. It's not gonna have as much height. Sometimes I will hold it straight up like this. That will give you a pretty good amount of volume, but if you want the most volume out of your tease, pull it forward, okay? So I will show you guys that throughout the tutorial. So I'm gonna stick it in there and just going up my hair just a little bit and then pull it forward. So next section, I kind of go down about to like the curve of my head down here because my head is pretty flat, my hair is very flat. So again, and I am kind of getting all the sides. I'm not just going back in the very back, I'm kind of getting the sides of the strand too. So when it gets down to more the back of my head, I don't really over direct it too much, just because I don't really want to put a lot of tension on the curl. And then I don't even like, I stop throwing it over, I just kind of pick it up. When I get down here, I don't really put too much work into it. So I push all that back, brush it out just a little bit, and that's what you're gonna be left with. My biggest problem, and I don't know if it's just with my head shape, with my hair type, I'm not really sure, but I always find that right here, like right in the areas where it's like the intersection between the sections, my hair just falls flat and it starts kind of separating. So what I do is again, pull the front section forward and pick up this little diagonal right here. Pick it up, you know, it hasn't been teased yet, and bring it in with a piece that has been teased from the back. So you're kind of connecting all of like the halo of your head. So I'm gonna pull that up and tease it with a piece from the back so that it's connected and that it has something to stick to. Because if you just tease it by itself, I mean, you're still gonna get that separation. And I don't really go down far, I'm just gonna take a couple of pieces and just kind of tease it together like that. So moving on to the front section. Again, if your hair is more prone to frizziness, then you can leave out a very fine little layer, pull it over, and then you can, you know, cover it back up once you're done. And I don't really over direct the front sections that much because I don't really want it to look, you know, super up there. So I just kind of pull it almost straight up like this. Bam, bam, bam. Again, getting the sides because it's gonna help kind of connect everything together. And just pull it over. So we're not gonna worry about brushing it out right now. So again, I'm gonna move on to this diagonal back here first. Pick up that diagonal and also a piece from the back and tease it together. And then move on to this side section. But yeah, now's the time when I used to freak out. Like I would see this and be like, what do I do to fix it? Just kind of comb through it. Now you don't want to stick your brush all the way in and actually brush it out. You just want to kind of stick it in the very top, like the surface, and just kind of smooth out that very top layer just so that it's not, you know, frizzy. And how I know when I'm done is that when I like feel the back of my head and stuff, like if there are no lumps, that's when I know I'm good. And I also just use my hands. I use a little rat tail on this side. Like there's really no rhyme or reason, just do it until it's smoothed out. Just spray it just a little bit because we're gonna be, you know, combing through the curls with our hands. And you will find that since you've messed with your teeth so much, you may look like you have lost a lot of your curl. You may start thinking, oh God, I've lost this. Like, look at this, this is frizzy. I'm gonna have to go back in and curl it. Just hold on one second. I recommend a good serum. My favorite serum is from Sally's. This is the Proclaim Olive Glossing Polish. I believe you can find this at Walmart as well and other drugstores. This stuff is so good. It doesn't weigh my hair down. It just makes my hair so shiny. But the one thing I've been doing lately, this product is like chrome or like waxing for your hair. This is the Paul Mitchell The Shine Spray On Polish. This seriously gives you the most shine. Like it makes your hair look so healthy. It smooths over like your cuticle. It makes it look like you have no damage. And you have to be really careful with this because if you spray too much, it will weigh your hair down. So I'm just gonna lightly spritz over the ends and the bottom of my hair. I'm not gonna do anywhere near the root. Like I'm staying away from the tease, from the root. You do not wanna put this on your root or it will weigh it down. But my hair looks so much more shiny. You're probably looking at this and being like, girl, you just messed up all that curl, all that work you just did. You're gonna have to go back in and curl it. No, you're not, because we're gonna refresh it and revitalize it with our serum. So I'm gonna put a little bit of this in my hand, and I can really go ham with this and not really worry about it. Warm it up in your hands. And first I go over each section. So again, I'm parting it kind of in the middle, and I'm gonna kind of comb it over like it's a ponytail. Like kind of comb it all together like this. Once you have it all over that section like this, I've combed it out, you're gonna go back in and scrunch it. And what this does is it just revitalizes the curl. Like it just rejuvenates it. And then I'll just kind of like pull the curls apart so they don't like fall on top of each other. And then I just kind of shake it out underneath. I don't like to go over the top of it and shake it out. I like to go underneath because it's not really gonna mess with the curl a whole lot. And I think that looks pretty beachy. Again, kind of comb it all together, get it on there. This is basically just to actually get the serum on there, and then scrunch. So as you can see, our curls look shiny, it looks bouncy, and it looks very, very full. And then I just go through, kind of fix my bang, gonna zhuzh it up back there. I like big hair. And you can go in with a more firm hold hairspray. Then as you're spraying it with the hairspray, you can also go in and scrunch it a little bit. And then if you find that your tease is kind of falling flat or something, you can go back in with your rat tail side and just lift it up. So whenever I curl my hair, this is exactly how I do it. So I hope you guys understand. If you have any questions, just let me know and I'll try to explain it the best I can. But yeah, here's how I curl my hair to get really shiny, full, voluminous, beachy waves, and also preserve the health and integrity of my hair. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me today. A thumbs up if you like this video, subscribe, follow me on my social media, all the links are below. And if you want to see a tutorial over this look, I will have it linked below and also at the end of this video. And I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Mwah.